This is a video I wish I had when my dog started having allergies. If your dog currently has allergies, then this one is for you. I'm going to break down all the treatment options, what helps, what doesn't, and our experience over the last 3 years. But first, welcome to our channel. I'm Sophie, this is my dog Spike. We've created this channel to build a community of dog owners and dog lovers that can come together and share best practices and practical tips on navigating everyday life with our dogs. And this week's hot topic is managing allergies. This video is a continuation of the one that I posted a few days ago, where I talked about Spike's allergies over the past 3 years, what we've tried, and some of the home remedies or more mild treatment methods that we've tried. So we talked about the different diets, hydrolyzed protein versus hypoallergenic diet. We talked about the supplements that you can use, as well as lotions or ointments or Epsom salt soaks. Essentially, we talked about everything before relying on Western medicine. And today I'm going to talk to you about something that's taken us a long time to get on board with, which is pharmaceutical allergy medications. Now, I have a background of working in the lab and studying pharmaceuticals. I have a master's in biotech, so I geek out on this stuff. I was reading the data, and it wasn't so much that I was worried about putting Spike on the medications per se. It was more that I'd have to keep him on them for long term. Because all the drugs that we're going to discuss today, they're not cures, they're just going to help with the symptoms of itching, redness, whatnot. And so as long as your dog's allergies continue, which is often lifetime, you'll have to keep them on those medications. Otherwise, their symptoms will come back. Hello, welcome back. Now, ideally, you watched part 1 and tried some of the natural, more mild strategies that we discussed. But if you're like us and none of those worked, then hearing our experience and our journey might actually help. Now, I'm not a vet. This is not a medical video. My goal is just to share with you what we went through and how we reacted to the different drugs that I'm going to talk about today, and help you make a decision, or at least help you figure out the questions to ask your vet when you have the discussion with them. Now, after exhausting all of our options and consulting with like 4 different vets, our primary vet recommended that we start with what's called antihistamines. This is also the drugs that we would take if humans have allergies. So this is your Reactin, your Benadryl, your Claritin. Now, you do have to talk to your vet before starting your dog on these, because even though it's the same drugs that we take as humans, the dosing in dogs is very different, and your vet can help you figure that out. Now, not to get too scientific, but unfortunately antihistamines don't work as well in dogs as they do in humans. In theory, they're supposed to block histamine, which is a chemical that's released during an allergic reaction. But in dogs, histamine is a very small part of a much larger reaction and pathway. There's a lot going on, and so unfortunately they don't work as well in dogs like they do for us. That was the case for us. We started with Benadryl pills, very low dose, but it made no difference whatsoever. And so then we went to the next step in our treatment journey, which was low-dose steroids. Now, this is prednisone, dexamethasone, or long-acting. These are used to calm down itching, swelling, redness, allergic flare-ups. And they usually work really, really fast. Like within a couple of hours, you'll see the itching or the symptoms improving. It's also a really good way just to confirm that your dog does indeed have allergies. But the problem with steroids is that they affect the entire body, not just the inflammatory response. So there's a whole list of side effects and adverse events that can happen that obviously we don't want. So it's not something that you should really keep your dog on long term unless you absolutely have to. And because Spike's allergies are chronic and we needed something long term, we realized this isn't really the solution for us. And that led us to the next product in our treatment journey, which is probably the most popular allergy medication in dogs. It's called Apoquel, and it works by targeting these specific signals in the immune system that are responsible for triggering the itching and the redness and the inflammation. One of the biggest reasons Apoquel is often used is because it works really fast. I also had a friend whose dog had allergies, started them on Apoquel as the first medication that they tried, and it's worked great for them, and their dog's been on it now for over a year. So it does tend to work for most dogs. It's rare for it to not work. Unfortunately for us, it didn't work. Spike continued to itch his body, bite his feet. He would like gnaw at his feet and sometimes cry because it was hurting him, but he also had to scratch the itch. So after 2 weeks of being on Apoquel, we went back to the vet and explored other options, which were injectables. Now there's two types of injectables. There's Cytopoint, which is designed to control the itching. It's targeted, it's fast acting, and it's only administered once a month, but you do have to go to the vet because it's an injection. And this is the one that we started with. It's the most common one. When you search it up, there's a ton of data and ton of information on it. And how it works is it's a monoclonal antibody that targets and binds to cells that are responsible for the itch signal in the body. It neutralizes a protein called interleukin 31. And interleukin 31 is the main chemical messenger that tells your dog's brain, hey, I'm itchy, start to itch. So the idea is that by blocking the signal, it stops the itch and your dog doesn't scratch and allows time for the skin to heal. The second type of injectables are allergy shots or immunotherapy. And this is custom-made shots based on what your dog is allergic to. So the idea is that over months or even years, your dog is slowly exposed to very controlled doses of the allergen, and over time, hopefully the immune system is retrained to no longer react to that allergen. It's really the closest thing we have in modern day medicine that can actually cure environmental allergies. So we opted in for Cytopoint, which we tried 2 doses of. So like I said, it's 1 dose per month or every 4 weeks. And after our second injection, we realized it's not working and we need to try something different. Throughout this time, I will say, of course, I did consider that maybe it's not allergies that we're dealing with. Maybe it's an infection. Maybe it's yeast. Maybe it's behavioral or stress, anxiety. Of course, I did think that maybe we've misdiagnosed it and it's not really allergies. I work in healthcare and I see it all the time where people are misdiagnosed and put on a medication for months or years and eventually find out their disease is something else. So of course it happens, and with allergies specifically, the symptoms overlap with so many different diseases, it's often hard to actually diagnose that it is an allergy. So we tried yeast ointments, Epsom salt soaps, we tried hydration creams, we tried wearing shoes when going outside, all of the things that I talked about in the first video. The only thing that I didn't give it a try was anxiety medication. Now, our vet did prescribe anxiety medications and I did actually buy them, but after doing research, I learned that this particular type, I don't know if there are many different brands out there, but this one worked by calming your dog down, aka making them drowsy. And I didn't want that. I mean, Spike is already super chill. He's like napping or lying by my feet here. And he's learned to calm himself down. If he's not being engaged, he'll just lie down, people watch, or take a snooze. He rarely overreacts or shows excessive signs of stress. And I take him everywhere. Like, I try to really socialize him even at 4 years old. So I'm not sure if it's anxiety. I haven't started the medication. And if you guys have any experience with anxiety medications for dogs, please let us know. Leave them in the comment section down below. We'd love to learn from your experience. But I digress because this is a happy story, semi-happy ending. Okay, a few months ago, I decided to try a newer treatment. It's called Zenrelia. I believe it was FDA approved about 1.5 years ago. And in Canada, it entered the market just over a year ago. So it is relatively new. I heard about it from another friend whose dog had also tried Cytopoint, they had tried Apoquel, and nothing worked for their dog. So they put them on Zenrelia, and apparently it did wonders. So I figured, okay, we'll give it a try as well. Now, Zenrelia is a JAK inhibitor. It's a different class of drugs than the ones we discussed earlier. It still works by blocking the internal chemical signal, but it does so through a different pathway than the drugs that we already talked about. So I figured, okay, let's give it a try. And we've only started it a few weeks ago now. It hasn't even been a month. But honestly, I can say it's working. Like, I don't know how, I don't know why, but I have noticed the itching and the symptoms have significantly reduced. Now, I do want to put a caveat out there that it could just be timing. Like, we have been dealing with allergies for so long and trying to find a treatment for so long that the season has changed. It's now winter, there's snow on the ground. The plants and grass and the weed that could have been causing allergies, those are dead. So it could have just been seasonal. And just coincidentally, the same time we started Zenrelia, the season, there's more snow now. So maybe that's why the allergy symptoms have reduced and the itching is less. I do want to put that out there. I get that could be it. I'm skeptical to just accept that we found a treatment. I also don't want to be promoting something that I'm not fully a believer of yet. But I have decided that we're going to continue Spike on this treatment for at least a month and see how it goes. And I could do another video and update you guys if that's what you want. But if there is one thing I want you to take away from this video, is that allergies in dogs are not straightforward. I mean, sometimes it's not even allergies, and sometimes it's caused by multiple different triggers. But if you and your dog are on this journey, just know you're not alone. I know it can feel overwhelming and frustrating and expensive, but continue to do your research, advocate for your dog, and show yourself some grace along the way. If you have tried any of these medications, we'd love to hear your experience. Please put it in the comment section down below so we can all learn from one another. And if you haven't watched part 1 yet, I'll link it somewhere here. It's where I walk through all the non-pharmaceutical treatments that we've tried. It really completes the picture. Be sure to subscribe to our channel for more videos, and thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. I definitely put Spike to sleep. I mean, he looks like he is. Let me see if I can take you. Look at how peaceful he is. Oh, I'm sorry, Betty woke you up. He says don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you soon.